Hi, this is Kathryn Kipp. Today is Wednesday, March 3rd, 2021, and it is 9:04 a.m. This is a morning hearing session of the Board of Assessment Appeals in Room 2.
Okay, so now you've read into the record, that's the start for the session. And then you're going to, since your first appeal is this one right here, I'll get your computer on the website so you can see it. But this is, And so if you have your script, the first thing, right. So because it's a phone call, the instructions are better once you're there. Basically, I'll just tell you, you put them on, this is annoying. And that's because this is connected to the hard drive with that wire. We got to get that because this is. Put them on speaker. Yep. Dial 9. Right here. Oh, yeah. You want a medium volume, so because this phone needs to pick up that. So you should be plenty loud. And don't use the handset. No. Yep. And then dial the number that he gave us.
Hi, yes, I'm Kathryn Kipp. I'm one of the 9 members on the Board of Assessment Appeals for Fairfield, and I'm going to hear your appeal today. Your appeal is also being recorded.
Hold on. Who do you need to speak to?
Joel Green.
Joel Green, okay. What is your name again?
The Board of Assessment Appeals for Fairfield is Kathryn.
Hold on, please.
So you should be able to read right through that. Well, you'll get it. I'm going to put these away. You don't need these on the table right now. I opened the radiator. Okay, and I can, you want me to do this one and you can listen? You're all right.
Can these two phones hear each other well enough? Did you see the email?
I did. So
Okay.
One thing that happened
Hello?
last night. Hello.
Hi, can you please call his other number, 203-218-9425.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That would be helpful to have the other phone number in the folder.
Well,
We called out the spreadsheet.
Open up the folder and look at the top pages. Is there another number there? Did he indicate a different number?
I don't know if you guys put it in the spreadsheet or not.
But maybe he didn't tell us a different number.
550.
Usually if they've told us something, we put it right at the top of the folder.
Okay. Yeah, that's like all the phones.
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Is this Mr. Green?
It is.
Hi, I'm Kathryn Kipp. I'm working with the Fairfield Board of Assessment Appeals, one of the 9 members, so I'm going to hear your appeal today. The hearing is also being recorded for your information.
Yes, and I'm Kathleen Griffin. I'm another member of the Board of Assessment Appeals, and you are Kathryn's very first appeal. So I am here helping her through it, and Kathryn has a seat, so you'll be fine.
Okay. Well, Mr. Green, I just have to have a few things stated for the record. So,
I need to conference in my client.
Great, sure. Thank you.
Take me one moment. Thank you.
So yeah, I had the script in red, a little easier to read. But basically, you're going to welcome them, which you did. Yep. And then I'm going to state a few things for the record. Correct me if anything is inaccurate. Enter your information. Your appeal number is property address, owner, town has you at that. You would like to go to this. And then that's all you're verifying is that first part. Okay. And if they say yes, and then on this sheet, you just write the time that you started his hearing.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So,
Good morning.
Hello.
Nancy Friedman has joined us, and we have, as I understand it, Kathryn Kipp and Kathleen Griffin on the line for the Board of Assessment Appeals. Do I have that right?
That is correct.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My husband Richard Friedman is here as well.
Terrific. Well, as you know, I'm hearing your appeal today, and your hearing is also being recorded. So for a few details for the recording, I just wanted to confirm that your appeal is number 522. The property address is 465 Penfield Road. Nancy Friedman is the owner. The town has valued your property at $2,571,500, and you are asking for it to be changed to $2,300,000. Correct?
Correct.
Okay, great. Now, I'm confirming that Nancy is the owner of the property, and I am going to swear you in. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
And Kathryn, the attorneys are not required to be sworn in. Some of them will, some won't, but yeah, that's
But since the owner was there.
I swear as well.
okay, great.
Okay, great. Now, could you please go through this testimony as to why you believe the market value of your home on October 1st was the $2,300,000? And please try to be as succinct as possible. I appreciate that.
I will do my best. So the first item is I submitted an exhibit yesterday, and actually I submitted it twice. I noted later in the day that it had not gone through, but you should have an analysis of increases in appraisals of neighboring Penfield Road properties.
That is correct. We do have that.
So these, what I did was, and I've gone through even a larger array, but I thought this was more easily digested, but these are properties within two houses on either side of the subject property, and also the house across the street and two houses on either side of that. So there's a total of 9 properties. So first of all, as you can see, the thing, first of all, was the land was very uniform in terms of the increase that the town applied. And I understand that across the board, it was 18.1% on all those properties. But there's a huge disparity, as you can see, in the appraisal of the improvements on the property. And you also have the field cards, but so that we can, you have that as backup, so obviously you can refer to that as you review the appeal. But the summary is that, for example, the house at 438 Penfield Road had a change of 13.5%. That is a renovated structure and a very heavy renovation. 443 Penfield Road was also a renovation. It went down by 10.5%. 450, and just to review, 450 was is the original home. It hasn't been renovated. 460 was a renovation, heavy renovation. 480 was a heavy renovation. 483 was a renovation. 492 was a heavy renovation. 496 is a heavy renovation. And 503 was also a renovation. And you'll note that the average percent change, and I understand that each property is theoretically taken one at a time, but it's interesting that the average is that the actual value of the structures only really changed 1.8% on average, but there was no apparent rhyme or reason to the up and down in terms of the age of the structure, and obviously the property that's subject of this appeal had the most severe increase. We also provided you with an Excel spreadsheet where we took properties in the beach area that were subject to recent sales and did an analysis of those properties. And I don't know, you have that exhibit in front of you.
That's what I'm looking through.
It's right here. I think I called it up on the computer right here. Is this it?
So on that property, on that exhibit, what we did is we did a breakdown of the per square foot appraisal of each of the properties. And it was interesting, obviously, and I've looked at a much larger array, and I've dealt with a lot of clients on properties in the beach area, but obviously we showed that all the properties were land was uniformly increased. So I'm sort of less interested in the land appraisal per square foot appraisal or the improvements. And it's interesting that the appraisal on all these properties was dramatically lower per square foot, yet many many of these are also newly renovated properties. And it's just, there seems to be, I understand the problem that the town faces in dealing with each property individually with, a vast amount of properties, but I just find that the subject property really seems to be dramatically over increased in terms of the improvements. Now, we recognize that, there's some, it is a nice renovation. There are some features that obviously dictate that it, that improve its value and enhance its value. But overall, I think we can demonstrate that it's really mindful of that. I understand that each house, in theory, based on the rebound, each house is looked at individually and adjusted. But in this case, I mean, there is some theory that the market increased, but the tide, all boats rise with the tide. Mm-hmm. And I understand that there would be disparities based on the condition of a home, but I neglected to mention that over the 3-year period, that none of these houses had major Fairfield increase. I know you're going to hear a lot about this as these hearings proceed going forward. Certainly the market did increase in the area. There's no doubting that. And by the way, Nancy is a real estate agent, so we recognize that the market increased, but we also recognize that once again the top and on that basis, just the fact that the subject property so dramatically increased over sort of the average leads us to believe in. And I think it's a relatively reasonable ask on the structure. So it's not, we're not suggesting a drastic cut, but we're making an adjustment to bring it more in line with what we felt the market did with all properties.
Okay. And thank you for your information. This is great. It's Kathryn again. And I just wanted to confirm a few things that the Excel spreadsheet that you had submitted with the 5 sample properties, that was just taken from the field cards and public information, sort of like your own comparative.
I asked Nancy and Nancy is once again a realtor, to identify properties in the beach area that were that were nice properties, that were renovated properties, that were similar, in the beach area. And I was focusing on getting close to that October 1 date because I'm always mindful of the fact that the assessed value is established as of October 1, 2020, and sales of comparable properties.
Way for her to get that information to us?
Yes, she can email it. If you want to email it to BAA@fairfieldct.org. Okay. The office may ask you to bring a hard copy in as well, but the fastest way to get it to us is to email it to that email. BAA@fairfieldct.org.
It's on the town website.
Yes, it's on our homepage. Okay. Right.
And if you could just put your appeal number and address in the subject line, that would be fantastic.
Okay, be happy to. Thank you so much.
I definitely appreciate that. So I'll be presenting your petition to the majority of the board at a deliberation session. We will then vote at that time, and you'll be notified by mail of the decision within 7 days of that decision. We're going to make all the decisions in March.
Taking an appeal, and we ended up working it out. But I remember you looked at me and thought that I had taken leave of my senses.
Well, at this point, with 650, we probably could use a few of these. So coming in this time.
Anyway, thank you so much. We appreciate it. We're just seeking to be reasonable and looking for. Volunteering and doing this for the town. It's a great thing.
Yes, we appreciate your time too. And thank you very much, Ms. Friedman. Glad this all worked out. We look forward to getting that additional information.
Terrific. Thank you.
Okay. Have a good day.
All right.
Bye-bye.
And that's because I moved the phone to try, because this phone has to pick up that phone.
Okay.
Okay, so that's it.
Duly noted that appeal ended at, the time
You're
is
not required.
9:24.
You're not required to do that if you don't want. This is totally fine. These are going to go to the assessor's office when you're done. So I would just put them on the radiator upside down over here and get them out of your way.
Okay.
Yeah, or on the floor, obviously another table or something. I'll put it right there on the floor. Because those blocks are for the minutes, which we need to do pretty quickly.
Okay.
So, if you want, I will go get your next person. This you can, and you're done with, this is this one.
And
So
then-
what I usually do is I leave them behind me on the
And now I
table.
have several that are in person, but.
It's okay.
Okay.
We may catch up, we may not, and if
Okay.
people wait a half an hour,
You and I are
it's
good.
okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go. And I have some time, my first one's not till 10:30.
And that's where it's running. Being recorded and where it's running. Mr. Judd? Mr. Judd?
Yes.
Hi, yeah.
Hi.
Come over in this
Okay. thank you.
unfriendly time of keeping
Okay, I
distance.
know, it's too bad, isn't it?
It is too bad. I apologize for that.
Okay,
Uh,
no worries.
And I am Kathryn Kipp. I'm one of the 9 members of the Board of Assessment Appeals.
All
I'm
right,
going to appeal your appeal.
Great.
Your appeal is also being recorded.
Great, all right, thank you.
I do have to say a few things again for the record of freedom of information and COVID.
Okay,
Your appeal, I'm confirming, is number 429. You are appealing 612 Penfield Road.
yep,
The owners are George and Sally Judge,
right,
and you are the owner
yes,
of this property. Okay, the town has your property appraised at $2,609,800, and you are asking for a reconsideration to $2,366,667. Correct?
yes.
Okay, and this hearing will begin at 9:27 a.m. First thing I have to do is confirm you and swear you in. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I so swear.
Great. Thank you very much.
And he stated his name for the record. I don't have it.
Yeah, George Harriman Judd, G-R-U-D-D.
Thank you. Okay, great. Now I'd love to hear your testimony and what you have, what you believe the market value is for your home for October 1st of 2020, please.
All right, I'm hoping, because I submitted this in time, you have my letter of all the exhibits.
I do. I have things, so I can walk right
Okay.
through them.
So now let me ask you, is it self-explanatory?
The notes I had prepared ahead of time, well, you have some comps here. There's nothing that I needed to, it's the Edward Street comp. I think I have to
That's
look
the
up
one
about
we're
that.
most concerned with in terms of...
Yeah, is it number 26?
Number
So I can be
26,
clear.
yeah, number 26.
Okay.
Do you know, can you give me some more background on that property that you know?
Oh, we know the former owner, the Baileys, a friend of mine, so we've been to that house many times. It's very, very comparable to ours, actually in a better location than ours. Their fence goes right up to Penfield Beach Road. It's the same size. It's got the garage which goes to the side like ours does. It's got a stone fascia at the lower level, two-car garage. It's a comparable house. It's a little older, and so that we don't understand whether that was not taken into consideration. We're assuming it was not. I don't know whether you're able to tell me whether it was included.
Yeah. The appraisal process is not quite a real estate appraisal process, as in these are the specific comps. It is by neighborhood, and it is so forth. So that's why these hearings are important, and to hear your specifics of the property. And I know that this number 26 Edmund Street is why do you think it's sold so low? So that's where I'm trying to get that feeling. And it's wonderful. Your information was great. It was complete. It was well done. However, it's so good to hear from the person, and then I can remember better as the process goes along. I'll have more of a flex. So you think your house would sell for that price?
I think so. I think, given what older houses sell for and the fact that Fairfield Beach is not exactly a consistent neighborhood, there are older houses. I gave you a picture of the house directly across the street from us. Kathy Wisniewski, our neighbor. I think that you have to look at surroundings in order to get a sense of what people would pay for a house. Well, thank you. And I think you see that picture, right? It's on huge concrete pylons. Keep going through.
Do you have the address? This is 26.
I know I included it in the package.
Okay.
Maybe you don't have the complete package.
And which one? What's the street address? The one that's the color picture? Is this it?
Yes, that's it.
Okay, so demonstrated is in the packet, and it is the raised.
Yes, with the government grant.
Coming back to me as I reviewed it. So, yeah.
Okay, so, at night, it looks like a huge parking lot underneath all the pictures at night.
And I did see that.
Yeah, so, this is parking directly across the street.
Okay.
The other thing I'd like to talk a little bit about Peter Binity, who we had asked him to give us an appraisal. He has been so busy. He's not been able to help us except in connection with the original vision process, where we did get a reduction, although we don't believe it was a sufficient reduction in the valuation given the high valuation that they started with. Anyway, I just did want to point out that we have reserved the right to supplement or modify this material to the extent that we find we have to go to court. So I think the next step is Superior Court, right?
That's right.
Yeah, okay.
So you're just saying, this is Kathleen, that you got a reduction at the informal hearing.
Yes, we did.
But you're feeling that it should be more than that.
Well, we've come up, and raising has come down, that we still don't think we are at what we think is a fair resale value. And I would like to add one more item to the record, which is a house which has just gone under contract. Matt, please pass that along. And it's got a little calculation at the bottom on Puritan Road, where essentially the increase in value it's gone up 5% over a 3-year period, and this is this is a COVID sale. So to say that our property has gone up 20% over a 1-year period in terms of the appraised value seems extreme to us. And on top of that, I don't think people are taking into consideration the increase over the purchase price of our house in terms of what we pay for the house. We paid for the house $2.275. The original assessment appraisal value was that we immediately contested was $2.8 million, over a 30% increase. So, all of these things lead us to believe that the methodology is something that should be reviewed. And if we can't reach some type of reasonable compromise on this, I am an attorney, I can act pro se, and I'm prepared to take it on my own behalf to the Superior Court.
Well, I appreciate all that. We we have your additional paperwork that
Yes.
I'll make sure it gets into that. If you have anything else to
Well, I
say?
would like to just point out one other thing. In order to assist the Board of Appeals, we did provide this. If you take a look in your package and make sure you have this spreadsheet.
Oh,
I'm going to check the online documentation too, because what's most important for the deliberations, because we'll all be remote,
Right.
is that you double check that everything you submitted
I
is
did. This is
online.
up to date with the
That's
digital
online.
appraisal system.
Okay,
And
that's
I
great.
note that in the footnotes where the information came from. I updated it after Vision did its
Right.
corrections in January.
So that should be here in the.
So it should, yeah, so it should, and I do have for the direct comparisons that I've used, I actually provided those sheets. What do they call them? They call them
the field card?
field cards, yeah.
Yeah.
But if you take a look
That's
at
very
this,
thorough.
you'll see that, the valuation which has been given to our house is really at the very, very top, tippity-top high end relative to comparable properties, and I try to be very fair in terms of the way that I look
You
at
show-
sales, and I show you the date of the purchase or sale, I show you the valuations, the per square footage, bedrooms. I mean, I'm trying to help you.
And we appreciate that.
Okay, so
We
that's-
appreciate this. Information is a good thing.
Okay, all right. Okay, I was just trying to think if there's anything else. When do you think we'll hear from you?
Well, that's my next.
Okay.
I do want to sincerely thank you. The information is, there's a lot of information there, and it's great to have it in hard copy.
Right.
I was able to preview it.
Yes.
Our assessors worked really hard. 10,000 sheets of paper have gone online. So I was able to preview on that. So
Okay.
having it hard copy is
Okay.
easier on the eye. So I do appreciate all that.
Okay.
I'm going to present your petition to the board. We deliberate as a group, and we will vote as a
Okay.
group. You'll be notified by mail within 7 days of that decision,
Okay.
and our goal is to have all decisions made in March. It's also the law without
Okay.
asking for extension. So you will hopefully hear by the end of the month. And as you already know, if your appeal is denied, you can come back next year. But if you're granted a reduction, you can't appeal until the next revow. But if you don't agree with the board's decision, you can take it to further and take it to court.
Now, let me
All
just
those
ask about the
instructions
court
will be
process.
with your
What
decision.
they provide the court process in terms of our deadline? I'm assuming that I have to file a suit against the town. Is that what I have to do?
And all those instructions will be in your decision letter.
Yes, there's a time frame. I don't know if it's 30 days or 60 days
Okay.
that you have to let the town know you want to take it to the next step.
All right.
Yeah. Now, the only question I had,
Okay.
we didn't sign a sheet, but I believe, did you swear him in? I know
did.
you were in a
He
meeting.
heard it.
Oh, and you signed
on
the
record.
sheet already? Okay, and you've
It's
got it.
on record, but I don't know if he signed.
Okay,
Do I need to
yeah.
sign that? Okay.
That's fine, just that, put your appeal number at the top
Okay.
and, sign that.
Okay.
And then that just means that you're, you may give those sheets to Kathryn and she can, I'm thinking process-wise, she can, the people when they're coming,
Okay.
that would be
Let me just make sure that's the right number here.
So we can fill that in for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Appeal number is 429.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, I got something over here to staff, so.
All right.
Okay, appeal number 429, and then it just
Okay.
goes in for
Just throw it in you can sign it and date it today. And put it in the folder. And you can- It won't be one of the things they see, it's just,
it is briefly on record.
right, it's in the hard copy file.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
I did catch all those of your names. I'm so sorry. Could you
No worries.
and spell them for me, please?
Well, it's almost like a tag team effort, because I'm Kathryn with a C,
With a C, Kathryn,
last name of Gibb, Giff, 2 F's in Frank.
2 F's. Okay, Kathryn, yes?
Yes, and I'm Kathleen with a K,
Kathleen. Okay,
Griffin, Griff as in Frank, IN as in Nancy.
great. All right, thank you so much for
All
your
right,
time.
thank
Okay,
you.
have a nice day.
You too. So often I'll go back and do my notes afterward. I go to my paper notes and copy them on here, so you can put this back in the file, to use it for later, in other words. The only thing they get
stay here after at 12 o'clock and fill in all.
up to you, or you can, sometimes if you have a break, you can start to fill them in.
But
Some
I
people-
can't take this with me home.
You
It's all
you
saved.
can't take the folder home, but you can take your note sheet home, and have to
Okay.
be back within 7 days. So we'll talk about the process for that later.
So yeah, if you want to just throw them all in the back of your notebook because you know you're going to fill them in later, just pull them out of here now and then you have them.
Right.
That's a good process.
That's what I wanted to know
Yeah.
before the
Yeah,
other.
the affidavit can go in
Okay.
there, the signature that they, been sworn in can go in there.
And I won't have the additional information, but I
Well, these
know
guys will
that.
scan this up, they will scan this in within 24 hours, right? They
And
should.
then I can go back. Well, and
Yeah, and anything that's, yeah. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And so anything that's not scanned in, click to the front, because
Yeah.
when it goes
I
downstairs,
remember
they're
doing
gonna go
that.
through the ones as we submit them, and they're gonna get it in as quickly as possible. So,
Right.
Yep. And what was
Okay.
this? And this was, that's your hearing
I'll
loss.
take that one from the other one because I was gonna answer that. Oh, no, that's,
Is this the one you just did?
hello, yeah.
Okay.
I've been told this.
No, so just go back now. Do you know approximately what time he started?
I
You
mentioned it,
confirmed all this.
9:24.
That's all right. Yeah. It's in person, and then right there, just write owner, like call for owner. That's enough. Yeah. I'm gonna make this a checkbox so you don't even have to write.
Okay.
We're working on it.
That one back, and I would like to grab the hearing notes from the other.
Here. And these are the exact same instructions, they just have red on them, so this is more helpful for you. You printed on one side. Yeah. I don't think they've changed anything in this right. But basically, you're getting there, so what it is.
Well, I'm looking for, Terry Keegan.
Want me to go get him?
Do I? Because then I can pull this stuff out.
That's what I said, you can call up, I'm gonna try to bookmark the agenda. You're not required to.
I did see.
Yeah.
So now I know.
Yeah, it's helpful to click through it and at least see, what's on, and the cover sheets, because we got those early, that gives you an
Very helpful.
indication.
Very helpful.
Of what you're gonna hear, so.
You're
Okay.
doing a superb job. Really is.
Trying to get you to be able to do your job, so all the paperwork is, secondary.
Hi, I'm here.
Terry Keegan?
Yes.
Hello, glad to see you, and Kathleen.
Kathleen, is that Kathleen? Hey, Terry Keegan, how are you? Good seeing you. I saw you a year ago here with the other property. So, that was 2 acres on Sunfield Lane, .21. I think that's what it sticks here, but whatever.
Okay, well, that's good, that's all I need to
Yeah.
know you're here, is to correct field card error, so.
That's a good thing.
Did you just buy that property?
When my father died, just because behind the office, 4 years, 3 years?
Okay, so it's not brand new this year?
No.
Okay. All right, so Kathryn is one of our newer members.
Kathryn, welcome you.
This year to help out, and I'm sort of, shadowing her, but she's doing great.
Yeah, that's fine.
And she's getting there.
No problem.
We're getting there, so I appreciate your patience.
Don't worry
It's
about
all good, I was able to take a look at the,
that. Do I get you this stuff, or do I do?
Is any of this new things, or have you submitted all your paperwork already?
No, I submitted everything,
Yeah.
Okay.
and then I could just, the appraisal's here, came in at 265.
Yeah, and that's.
On the field card, it's got me down as a AAA zone, and the funny thing is, I went through, don't I start yet?
Not yet, just because you do have, because of COVID and everything, I want you to know that your hearing is being recorded. Good. It's being recorded, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I have to state a few things for the record so that we will be able to find things on the record.
I'm on ZBA, that's why I go through this every month.
You go through, I know you could do this a lot faster, but the appeal number is number 585, your appealing number.
Am I writing this down?
No.
Okay.
No, it's on hearing, I'm just confirming.
Okay.
The property address is 46 Sunfield Lane, and you
Yep.
are the owner, Terrence W.
Right.
Keegan.
Yep.
I need to swear you in, sir?
Sure.
Please raise your hand. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Terrific. The town has appraised your property at $406,600.
Yep.
And you are looking for an ask amount of $265,000.
265 per, yes.
Okay, then we're all good. Appreciate everything that you have submitted.
Everything's here pretty much. So,
And could you just sign a sheet of paper up there that you have been sworn in? And then I'm going to go and listen to you.
terrific. You know, it's funny with these masks, you guys, I can't hear anymore, and they're not covering my ears, but I just can't hear.
It's probably like how much you were reading
Probably
the list.
absorbing the sound that's coming at your head,
Yeah,
you know?
I don't get
Like
it.
wrapping a blanket around your head and trying to listen to somebody,
Yeah.
right?
And not seeing people's impressions, and the plexiglass that's up here, I'm seeing myself in the reflection, not you. Because it's there. So, unless you're waving your arms rapidly or something, you're pretty discreet. I'm seeing closer pitch my shadow. Okay, so,
Do you want me to put the appeal number on this?
Please.
please,
What's that?
the appeal number is 583.
We're gonna have,
583. And then I signed it, I said the third day of March, and then you signed the bottom.
I do, you're perfect.
Okay.
I'm gonna take these down to the desk and have her
Can you
hand
just grab me that one?
Yes.
I like your jacket.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's free
How's
time.
everybody?
Free
Everybody good?
time when you volunteer.
Sometimes I-
Everybody's good. We're enjoying, the Red Gates house.
Yeah. I think you've done a nice job on that. So, my grandfather, grandmother lives 4 doors down across the street.
On Glen Arden or
No, Stony Brook.
Bigler? Oh, on Stony Brook.
Yeah,
Oh.
so, fond memories.
Very pretty street. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a lot of work to do on the inside, but we cleaned up the outside. So that's all.
No, it looks great.
Thank you. All right, Kathryn, I think you're
Okay.
good to listen to Tick, right?
I certainly am.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Terry's
To the desk.
50
and
seconds.
Terry's a very good
60
presenter.
seconds, all right.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what, take 2 minutes, we're almost
All right.
on time here.
Yeah, so it's all, and I went through this, by the way, with the vision appraisal on the 29th, I believe it was.
Okay.
And he kind of laughed, saying, yeah, I get it, and then nothing changed, so I don't understand it, but it's a 2-bedroom house on the on-ramp of I-95. If you look at Jeff Smith's appraisal, you'll see the location. So it's literally on one side, you have the COVID testing center commuter parking lot. On the other side, you're literally on the on-ramp to I-95 North. So, it's 2-bedroom. It's, the first comp you used was Pequot. Pequot, if a comp, I'm a realtor, by the way. So if a comp is inferior, you subtract if a comp is superior.
I totally understand
So-
that, yep.
I think it's 265 is high. I mean, this is simply not to do with your job, but it just happens to abut the building I own in front. So that went up $5,000, but I'm not saying anything about that. But it's just silly. That's all. I mean, so.
And it went up, the appraisal went up
Oh,
from,
huge. It went from 157, the assessed value went from 157.5 to 284,620. But they got it down as a AAA zone.
and that was so.
So I think it's a computer error.
Do you know what the zone is?
I'm a realtor and I should. It's not, AAA is 2 acres, but yeah, this is .21, I think.
So we'll need to correct the zone.
It's not a AAA zone, I wish it were. And then the comps are there,
I just didn't know if it was in the B zone or it was what, so.
I've got the field card over here. Let me just look.
No, it's listed as AAA on the field card.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I circled that.
That's,
Yep.
yeah. It's been highlighted in the,
Yeah, it's just, I think it's, as I
and that's
said,
why I personally appreciate having you have made the copies because the highlights don't always come through when I'm looking online.
oh, you have the copies, right? You have all this, right?
Correct.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
but I don't get those until the hearing, until today.
Oh, okay.
So what I was looking at online, I was like, okay, so it's great to have the highlighted right there.
No, that's no problem at all.
And helps with the
This was
delivery.
all corrected 3 years ago because it was a crazy valuation then, and I came before the board, they're like, yeah, we get it, you're right.
Okay.
And then, so I don't think it's human error, although I did talk to this guy at Vision Appraisal, because I didn't want to bother you guys, and he just didn't change anything, and I went to Jeff, and I was like, listen, I'm a realtor, I used to be an appraiser as well. It's a valid argument, so.
And that will, because I'm trying to look at your, it's hard to keep eye contact at the same time.
Yeah, okay.
But I do say, I mean, the land is the dwelling is assessed at $31,000, but the land is assessed at $253,000. So that is the primary.
By the way, sign me up, I'll sell it tomorrow. I know you hear that all the time, but literally, you've got the commuter parking lot here, and I've got the on-ramp here, it's in the middle, and they've got it down as a AAA zone, and then if you look at the comps, the Pequot Avenue sold for less.
May I ask you
Yep.
if you could email in what you feel is the correct zone. And
Oh,
that will
yeah,
help.
yeah,
And that way, it just gets that, I can do it too, but you know that the homeowner and you're a realtor, you
I
can
should
just follow
have
up.
that. What,
Yes, I had that written down.
By the way,
Email
is that-
address.
Does that have Jeff's appraisal, I wonder?
Yes, I do. Oh,
He might have it on that.
what the zone is, he has the comp, but I know the email is on
I'll do
the
it for you. That's easy.
website somewhere, and it's BAA at Fairfield, Connecticut, whatever that
Hold
is.
on, let me look at, say that again, I'm sorry.
BAA, the Board of Assessment Appeals, and it's the Fairfield town address, with fairfieldct.org, I believe.
FairfieldCT.org.
Yeah.
And you, what,
Board of Assessment Appeals,
Email.
BAA.
Yep, BAA, email the correct zone.
Yes, and if you could reference that it's for Appeal 583.
Appeal, what was that, I'm sorry?
583.
Isn't that funny how I can't hear? But...
I know, well, the math, and I apologize.
Hey, by the way, I can call Jeff right now and he'll give me the answer. I'm going to do that?
Yeah, or just, if it's in the email, then it's that one piece of
That's better,
paper. And if that would be great. If you could get the answer that quickly,
Oh, yeah,
that would be terrific.
No, I'm a realtor, so he and I,
Are you?
he does a lot of the bank appraisals in town.
And then, I think we can pull up and you're right, we can look at, if we looked at the comp field cards, but I don't know that you have.
It's got to be an error, because it's just...
Yeah, I don't know that you have I don't see the comp field card. I see the comp appraisal report.
Yeah, if you want the field cards, I'll get those to you as well.
We can do that, it's all online.
Yeah.
I'll be able to look it up. I'm not as good a multitasker in the hearing.
No problem.
Right now, my focus is on hearing your.
Yep.
And I know that's an important part of it, so that would be great. And if we can get that information, is there anything else that you want to discuss?
It's just, what else can I tell you? It's just,
And I am sure that I can pull up these
I got them here.
field cards once I get to. It's just not my computer. You know how.
He's driving in Wisconsin.
Well, I think we.
I'm here now, but so what, do you know the zone on Sunfield Lane? Obviously, the AAA is wrong. But I have to look at it. No, I got the map done. Do you know what the zone is? Obviously, it's not AAA. Do you know what it is there? I'll look it up.
I can look it up. Okay.
All right, whatever. I'll look it up. Not a big deal. I'm going to email it to the Board of Assessment Appeals. All right? Yeah, no, I'll do it. I'm sitting here in the hearing room now, so I'll get back to my office and I'll email it. Okay? All right, no. Yeah. Yeah, my phone, I don't trust my phone. It's screwed up. So, all right. Okay, thanks. All right, Jeff.
Terrific, Terry. I appreciate that.
You do have you have the copies of where the subject is, obviously. You have everything, right?
I have the appraisal. I don't have the field cards for the comps, and I would just I think that I'm going to make note, that's what we need.
Do you want me to do that as well?
No.
No? Okay. All right, because for me...
If I was sitting at a computer that I knew and had Wi-Fi, I'd be able to manipulate the field cards and do that. But I think that's our missing piece of information that would be very helpful when we go to deliberation.
Yeah, it's that. So, I think it's a computer, but whatever.
I just want you've been heard, and I want to thank you for the information, and that's a terrific it's a good piece of information for us to have. I'm going to be presenting your petition to the majority of the board at a deliberation session where we'll consider it and vote upon it. You'll be notified by mail of the board's decision within 7 days of the decision. All decisions are going to be made in March. If your appeal is denied, you can come back next year. If you're granted a reduction, you can't appeal until the next reval. But if you don't agree with the board's decision, you can take it to the next step and take it to court.
New Britain. Yep.
All instructions will be in your decision letter. Thank you, and if you don't have any questions for me today, any more questions?
Is your last name John?
No, my last name is Gibb.
Giff? Yes. Okay, well, you and I know each other.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not out of my mind. So why does it say John?
Because Kathleen keeps moving all the things around to get the technology, and I believe John is another board member who is here. I never feel, I am temporary.
Well, so how do you and I know each other? Were you a realtor?
I was,
Yeah.
20 years ago, yeah.
I'm not out of my mind. I'm not losing it. Okay.
No, not at all.
And who did you work for?
We're all being recorded.
Yeah.
I worked for Ravis, left in 1999, I think.
Yeah, because you and I did business together, I think.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then I moved abroad, came back. We're on our third, fourth house in Fairfield.
Good for you.
It's a great place.
No, because all of a sudden,
Been here a long
I'm
time.
I mean, you know, but
I know
even
a lot
with the
about-
mask, I'm like, I know this person, so.
Yeah.
Well, welcome back to the
Sure.
U.S.
Oh, I've been here,
Forever.
my husband goes, but we're all good. We are all good. This is great. I
Okay.
appreciate that.
All right.
It's a good, you
Yep.
let us know the zone,
Okay.
and that's going to help us.
All right.
Better
Thank you. All right.
Thank you
Good seeing you
today.
again.
Okay, and it is 9:55. I'm going to get ready for the next hearing. Not sure how to call the people who were in that one. But that's really.
excellent, that's all I can say, So there was nothing. They then reduced it by, I think, 60,000 or something like that. And they provided comparables that we didn't have any for just 50,000. Okay?
Okay.
So then our conclusion for that was that we need to have that professionally done, so that's why we hired Leader to do a proper appraisal. He is also involved in the appraisals for the tax assessment investors, so I think he's a good source for that. And then he made that assessment that you have in your.
And I do have that.
Yes, and so the proposal that we posed is 1,870,000 comes from his assessment of market value, which you can find on the second page. Yes. So
yeah.
It says, and you see a full appraisal with all details, with comparables, everything, how that needs to be done professionally. Okay. So I also would like, the appraiser also noted me at some irregularity or specialty or something which is unusual, which you will find on, if you flip over to the assessor's card. FEMA-compliant houses are built that they usually put together two lots. Although this has happened before the building that we lots were combined, that was already the case years back. Okay? So, but I cannot speak to that because we're the owners since 17 years.
But your lot is relatively consistent or not one of the larger ones in the surrounding area?
I can talk to the street.
Yes.
It is,
and your street, and you're saying you're pretty consistent. There are some bigger ones on your street, actually, for the lot.
There are some
larger lot sizes on your street.
Yes, the next one next door is just larger. Okay.
Just again, trying.
Yes. Okay. Okay. So I mean, I don't know, professionals, I cannot go to the details of the professional side. I don't think that is required. I think you can trust that.
No, what I like about these hearings, it's nice again to see the hard copy. I'm looking at everything online. Our assessor's done a superb job of getting everything online so that we can have it. I like the hearings because then I can hear what's important to you and also zoning. That's why you're here.
Yes. Okay. Of course, there is different aspects. It was a new build when we bought it. You can see on new builds you have basically about like a bonus to pay. Definitely, that's what the professional sector.
Well, I appreciate all this information, and it is complete. We have it all. I think we have that understanding that it is a complete appeal.
Can I have some additional points that are not represented in that assessment? I just want you to be aware of them.
Great.
So additional points are, this is the only FEMA compliant house on the street, which is normally lowering the market value. Of course, the comparables don't consider that, Really nice, and then also the Sandcastle Playground is a nightly high school party location, which leads to problems as well, emissions. So the location has some backdrops that are really lower of the property that we can say, okay? Then there is something else that I want to mention. It's a little bit more, how should I say, private, but it also maybe for some people. Our neighbor, our cross the street neighbor, committed suicide. So it was also a friend of ours. And such things are not for the street either. Okay. And finally, there is one thing that is not related to the property, but is a general aspect of revaluation. If you increase tax assessment and taxes go up, this implicitly actually reduces the value of the property. Because all the money that could go to a mortgage interest rate cannot go. You need to understand the property, and if that is a loan that is not repayable, an additional loan. So if you increase that, then that means it actually lowers the property value. Okay, but this is a systematic question, and I don't know whether that is considered in your thoughts, and this would be something which is applicable for every assessment, not only for our property. Okay? Yes, so these are the additional things that I noted down for what I can bring forward, which were not included in that assessment. Of course, I know that these are hard to quantify aspects, but I just wanted to bring them forward anyway.
But that is the role I play, to bring your concerns. That's why we have the hearing, so that I can bring those concerns to our group when we have our deliberations about those. So I do appreciate your time to come in here, and that is my role, not to give you a decision on the appeal right now, but to say I have definitely heard you, and I'm the one who's going to be presenting on that. So they will be heard. That's what I say. I will guarantee you that. Are there anything else that you would like to discuss or let me know?
No, that's it. So that's what I all have prepared.
Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate your report, your honesty, and your succinctness. we're to the point, but as I said, I will be presenting your petition to the majority of the board at a deliberation vote. And you will be notified by mail of the decision within 7 days of the decision being made, of the decision. And then all decisions will be made in March. So we're scheduling the deliberations and the votes coming up. So you'll be hearing in the next couple of weeks, by the end of the month.
By the end of the month.
Okay? If your appeal is denied, you can come back next year. If you're granted a reduction, you can't appeal again until the next revaluation. But you can, if you do not like the board's decision, you can take the next step and take it to court. All those instructions will be in your decision letter. And thank you very much for your time. If you don't have any other questions, this will conclude our hearing at 10:09.
Thank you. You can need my signature here?
That would be great, and the appeal number is 449
Yes.
for your signature on that you were sworn in.
Sworn,
The third day of March 2021, and then I will sign. Thank you very much, sir. Is that the pen that was here? Leave it here. Thank you. If it's not yours, I appreciate your time again. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Are you comfortable if I switch over your power strip now so you can?
Oh, are you letting me stay here? You're doing your end here?
I do appreciate that. We'll just note it in the minutes. That's the most important thing. So if your hearing logs have the wrong room number, just cross that out.
Okay.
I will note that I didn't change. That's correct. Okay. Yeah, the log sheet we're doing for each hearing, like that's right.
Oh,
yeah. So this one. So this is correct. This was in room 2. That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
And it was you, and you really just want to.
So this I need to change this
to 2.
Mm-hmm. Good to know.
Yeah, and down here, just write that I was here too on that one, for Kathleen. I mean, the other ones I really was walking in and out and not listening. That's probably the only one I actively participated in, right? Yeah, you just write Kathleen. She knows. Okay. This is for whoever's in a minute. So yeah,
I'm trying to be complete. I'm trying to.
You are. Now, I don't know if
you know what, I am not able to call up. I'm not. I gotta listen to them than be on the computer.
Sure. So but the question is, it's in an awkward position. So you're comfortable with that? Okay. So when the meeting's over, we will give you we'll just provide the new power strip after you're done. So I don't need to interrupt. Because if we disconnect the power strip, it may hang up your conference call.
No, we'll do that at the end.
We believe this is a dead power strip, right? That's what we're assuming.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay, I'm going to go over there.
Yeah, are you good? I know I've got my first at next door at 10:30. Are you have any?
As long as the technology is working, I have not actually heard.
Yeah, as long as every time you go to get somebody, here's the green light. So. And I'm going to put the conference call up on your computer so at least you can glance over and you know how to look at this. If you see the green button, this is telling you that it's recording over here. So you're the host. Active speakers, it can tell you how long it's recording in lecture mode. So as long as this is saying that's all you know. Mm-hmm. Yep. No, that's what you need to do your job and not worry about. But the only thing you need to check because they don't know down this hall that the phone fell off the desk and the recording stopped. Like Judy's recording stopped recording, we have no idea why. So, and I know I have one phone and hopefully just make sure we do not speak the phone. Yep. Hopefully I'll do that. Yep.
He's now
Thank you.
at Fox Resort.
I feel badly that you guys have to do this at times of COVID.
The woman who just walked out has worked incredibly hard getting it all done, and technology. So that's what all this is. I apologize. We're normally a friendlier, warmer bunch. So this is
I was surprised that you're doing this in person, actually.
And I'll be honest, I see myself. I have all the glare on this, so I have more
Okay.
If you think, I just want to let you know it is being recorded.
Okay.
And I have a little script here to make sure that everything's done according to statute and so forth. So I'm Kathryn. I'm one of 9 members on board. I'm going to hear your appeal today.
Okay.
So you are here for appeal number 471 for 33 Edward Street.
Yes.
And are you Heather Woodward,
Yes.
the owner? Terrific. Thank you very much. I also have to, the town has valued your property at $2,110,900, and you're asking for it to be revalued to $1,750,000.
Yep.
And I have to swear you in.
Okay.
So if you could raise your right hand.
Good to
Do
know.
you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
Yes.
Terrific. Did you get a piece of paper? Terrific. I will compare that to
Are you
you.
going to sign it? Or you
Yes, please. You have, sure. You just sign it, and your appeal number was 471.
Yep.
And I'll grab that on the way out. That will be
Okay.
fine. Terrific. Now, we're going to start the official recording at 10:16. And it is now your turn. I want to listen to you. I do have your paperwork. Let's make sure that it's all complete here as we go through. Tell me about your property and why you're asking for the reason.
So I brought 2 comps, both on the same street, one directly across the street from me, which is 26 Edward Street. That property sold in August of 2020, so just sold, and it sold for $1,895. And the appraisal, the town appraisal for that property is below the market value, so it was $1,853, $1,853,000. So in looking at the appraisal, the town increased the percentage by less than 0.5%. My appraisal increased by over 22%. My house is very similar to that house in terms of style, and both Nantucket style houses. That house is a little bit different, and then it has 500 more square feet than mine, which is considerable at the beach. It's also in a bigger lot. It has an additional bathroom, and it has views, which is a huge thing being down there. So our houses are directly across the street from each other. I don't have views. I'm on a smaller lot, smaller house, and my property took an increase in appraisal by almost $400,000 from the town. That's a huge amount. Just to give you a little bit, history, I've never argued my appraisal on my property before. We've lived in Fairfield in the beach for 16 years. 3 kids in the school. Husband and I both are committed to the community. We're both healthcare workers. I'm all for paying my taxes, but this just isn't fair. It's just a huge increase. And honestly, I don't think I can sell my house for $2,100,000. I can't sell my house for that much money. The second comp that I brought was 86 Edward Street, which is opposite side of the street, one more up from me. So there would be one house between me and that house.
Oh, okay, so same block.
Same block.
Right. 2 houses up.
2 houses up. That house, same architect, we built it exactly the same year. That house is also bigger. It's on a bigger lot. That house put in a ton of work. They put in a pool, they redid landscaping, they redid all their hardscaping in their backyard this year. They redid their driveway. They went up, the town appraised them up 10%. So their appraised value went up to $1,917. Nicer house, bigger property. They just put hundreds of thousands of dollars into the pool, the hardscaping, the lot. And again, I would say that the houses in terms of style are comparable, but that house is, again, it's a bigger house where,
Okay, it's just echoing in our room.
sorry.
where the beach is a huge deal. You know, I mean, especially, so again, I feel like we're all for paying our taxes, but this increase, I mean, $400,000 on a house is a huge amount of increase, 22%. You know, to pay taxes on that, it just seems...
Well, and the idea behind the assessments are that everyone is paying taxes, but we're all paying our fair share of taxes. So the assessment is to get these comparables, to get those valuations. So I can tell you're a little nervous, and you're...
Well, I've never done this before, and I have to say, I'm a little
emotional.
Yeah, well, I'm upset because I'm committed to the town. And then, you know, this morning, in preparing for this, I used to live on Roland Road. So I used to live a block away from where I am now. And across the street from me on Roland Road, there's two huge houses, you know, that one is 515, one is 545 Roland Road. Both of these houses are 6,000 square feet. Their lot size is much bigger. One has a pool. These are really expensive, valuable houses. Like, if I could live there, I would live there, but I can't afford to live there. So pulling the town appraisals, we're plotted to pay more taxes than these houses.
Even on Roland.
Even on Roland. And
same distance, because 500 Roland.
They're a little bit, they're
further from the beach.
Yes, they're further from the beach.
Okay.
But these houses, I mean, I brought pictures of all of them. These houses are huge, beautiful houses. You know, and I'm not saying that.
And you've lived in your house, you've been there, you said you were 16 years in town, but you've been there 7 years?
Yeah.
Like?
Yes.
Okay. And, you did demo? No, you...
We did. We took down a house.
Okay. All right. So you did that in 2013. Okay. Seven years ago.
Yes.
Okay. And you do have an elevator?
No.
Okay. Maybe I'm reading that. New elevation. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
I want to... make sure. Okay. And all right. I'm looking at the cards. I'm looking at the comp. I think I can present. I will be doing the presentation to the group. But is there anything else that you want me to hear? Any other pieces of information?
I mean, I've never done this before, and so I hope I'm not missing anything. And maybe I can leave this with you. I mean, I just chose comps from my block because I thought that was probably the most fair. And I listened to the meeting in terms of how the appraisals were done. And the one thing I would say is, I understand that the neighborhood was divided into blocks, but my house is not similar to the houses up on the beach. It's not. I don't have views. I back up to a million houses around me. I'm kind of backed in by all of the new construction. I'm not the same. I don't have the same value as those houses. So if because I'm 2 houses back from Fairfield Beach Road, if I'm getting put in with the houses directly on the beach, that's an unfair comparison. I think that I'm more similar to the house across the street, which set the market value, and that house across the street sold for $1,895. So to me, that's the market value. And my house, for many reasons, would be below that.
26 Edwards. This is not the first time we've seen topics 26 Edwards.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So again, I would love to leave this with you, but
what is that?
So I just compared, and I think I wrote it out before, but just comparing the 2 streets, the 2 houses on Edward, I compared the square footage, the lot size. Each of those have an extra bathroom than me.
I would definitely like to see that.
And I put, the 86 Edward put a ton of money into their house this year, and their appraisal and assessment is almost half of what mine was. So
I would definitely appreciate if you would keep that. I can't make copies or anything
no, you can
now, but we have a whole system for getting things, in the file folder and online, and then you can see that everything is. I want you to know, thank you for your time, and that's why I like the hearing, because I get to hear it actually, it sticks with us more. So I think people say, well, why do they come to the hearings and present, but this is why, because I'm the one who's going to be presenting your petition to a majority of the Board of Assessment Appeal people. We'll consider it, and then we vote on it. You'll be notified by mail within 7 days of our vote of the decision, so everything will be kind of on a week lag. We are scheduling the deliberations with our, so all of that's going to take place in March. Okay. This is not going to go farther out. If your appeal is denied, you can come back next year, but if you're granted a rejection, you can't come back until the reballot in another 5 years. And if you don't agree with the decision, you will have, you can take us to court. Okay. Further up, that information will be in the decision letter. Okay. But if you have no other questions, I definitely would like to take that piece of paper.
Should I leave this is all, I printed out from Vision Appraisal, all of the comps that I used. Do you want me to leave this with you? Or
I would take anything, but I think we already have that.
And then I printed out the 2 properties on Roland as well.
That would be good to have, the 2 on Roland, but I do have your field chart, and you can see everything that is going to get all scanned in, so it's all, I keep pointing to the computer, so it's valuable thing, but I do have, I have the 33 Edward Street, which is you.
Yes.
Right? Okay, so I have that, but I also have 86 with pictures and
26.
And 26. Okay. So I did it already. You have that already been done. Okay. I like the additional one. So
leave this and the 2 on Roland. I think you want to do it. Again, thank you for your time. Just understand, I believe in the town. I haven't paid my fair share of taxes. We're committed to the town. We're committed to the school. All of that, but this increase is just, it's not sustainable. I'm sure everyone's telling you the same thing, but this is a huge increase.
And the town is committed. That's why we're doing it.
Yeah.
And the town is committed. We're one of the towns, we hear everybody. We want everybody to have that, and the woman who's been running around, she's done such an extraordinary job of organizing the information so that we're hearing from you as well as your neighbor, all at the same time. It's timely, it's fresh, it'll be discussed with people who are volunteering. We all want that too. We're all long-term residents. So, we're here for you too, and we're trying. And the assessment is a way to fairly divide up the tax burden. It is not always indicative. So it's a complicated procedure, but it's to make sure that everybody is sharing that in a fair manner.
Yeah. So, I will tell you, I was surprised when I pulled the comps from some of the houses at the beach. I'm very surprised that it was saying what. And to me, having lived in this community, it doesn't seem fair. I mean, it's like there's a house that just went on Old Post, like 915 Old Post Road. That house, it'll probably sell for 2.4. They're paying, their assessment on that house is like 1.2. That's not fair. Again, I'm all for paying my taxes, but it should feel fair in this town, and it's not. And I think that's why a lot of, again, that's why I decided to take the time off work to come in and talk to you.
Well, we're glad. I'm sorry you had to take it off.
No, I appreciate it.
We need our vaccines, and you're in healthcare.
So thank you.
We need you too. So.
I was impressed by the meeting too. I listened. I've never listened to the appeal meeting. I kind of heard a little bit about all of you guys who are on the committee, and I appreciate you giving your time.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
And I love how, I don't know Carol, but I like how Carol said every single time, Mrs. Carol.
Oh, you like Carol's song, the end of the face. And now the sound, and the deliberations will all be recorded.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thanks for your time.
And stay healthy and safe. Yes, that's all.
I get that because we want everything in the right folder. With 650 appeals. We want to make sure nothing gets lost.
Well, thanks for all your hard work.
Thank you, Heather.
Appreciate it.
It's good to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
one commercial, Hello, how are you?
Doing well.
Mr. Burgess?
Yes.
Hi. Welcome.
Yes.
I wasn't closing the door, but everybody is saying the sounds are all.
Oh,
That I
excellent.
have. I
Okay.
think I started a little earlier on the first one, so. It gets noisy.
Yeah, there's not much stuff on the walls or the ceilings to absorb
The
it.
very echoey place is right. Okay. Apologize for our lovely warm setup here.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, there's a little script kind of in the beginning to make sure that we get everything. You do know that the hearing is being taped.
Yep.
I'm going to start this hearing at 10:31. I'm Kathryn from the Board of Assessment Appeals, Kathryn Kipp, and I'm going to hear your appeal today. A few things to be stated for the record will be, I think I took the wrong page in the roll call. Hold on, here we go. This is appeal number 507 for property address 148 Puritan Road. I am with the owner, Robert Burgess, in attendance.
Yes.
You are the owner. Great. The town has valued your property at $2,005,300, and you are asking for a reduction to $1,900,000.
Correct.
Correct. Okay, that's terrific. I'm just going to, you are the owner. I do need to swear you in, so if you would please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Great. Thank you.
If I say I do, or?
Pardon?
I was like, last time I said I do was when I got married.
Well, this is not marriage,
Yeah.
that's a different sex.
So I need to sign this and.
That would be great. If you could leave that off to pick that up at the end. Okay, and then I'm going to turn it over to you and listen to your testimony.
Okay. So I think that my house was definitely overvalued. We had an assessment done in March of this year, which was roughly halfway through the period of when the assessment was supposed to occur, that we had attached, and they had valued it at $1.8 million in conjunction with that. Obviously, the market has heated up some after March, but if you look at the overall period that the assessment was supposed to be, the $2,005,000 number seems to be very high. When I did comparisons, looking both on the town website as well as Zillow, I came up with a number of other houses, one of which is on the street, basically a block and a half down the road from me. Very similar, the 289 Puritan Avenue.
Okay, I see that here.
Yeah.
Just to confirm that I have what's there too.
Yes.
Okay. So that's one that you say is the most comparable.
Yeah, I mean, it's very similar. It's a 5-bedroom, around the 4,000 range. And, it sold for $1.8 million in July of this year. So it's a slightly smaller, lot, slightly smaller house, but 5 bedrooms. When I looked at the comparison of all of the sites on, of the houses on GIS that were comparable sales, there were 2 significant that stood out as being much higher than what mine were. And they were houses that were, had elevators in them and other things which I didn't think were appropriate comparisons. So this was the list that I came up with that were houses roughly around 4,000 square feet. A number of them have 5 bedrooms, the other ones have 4, but roughly 4,000 square feet and roughly similar size lots. So when I average them, and they've all sold in the past, within this past year during the timing. The average value was basically $1.813 million, and the town's valuation of those houses was $1,758. So, it's a discrepancy that, my house seems to be significantly valued above, A, what I paid for it, which I know you guys don't necessarily care, but, when I had the appraisal done in March of this year. So.
And when you bought in 2017, was that a new build?
It was a brand new build,
Okay.
which you pay a premium for anyway. So, and at this point, the house is 3.5 years old, so it's no longer considered a new house. There was a house.
It's 3 years old.
Yeah,
It's not.
I am literally having a plumber in because I have a leak that's come down from the washing room, and I'm going to have to repair the ceiling. So, and I have a shingle that came off the side of the house in the windstorm last night, not off the roof, on the shingle siding.
On the side.
Yeah. So like I said, all of these houses are, within the same area from the beach to where I am. And, when I compared to what the town had, there were a number that were closer, at least 1 or 2 streets closer to the beach than Puritan. So, that's what it seems to be throwing off, whatever computer model they have that, has the comparison houses to mine.
Okay. I just want to. Okay. All right. You elevated, and of course, your elevate. Oh, yep.
Yep. Yeah, we're being compliant.
Some of them are so clearly, when the stairs go on the side, it's a soft.
My
the elevation.
I wish it was a little higher because the space under my house is not, I can't stand under, so I have it for storage, but, you have all these other houses that have, almost like another, indoor-outdoor space that they get to use.
Yes.
So.
Cabanas.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Okay. All right. Is there anything, since you put in this wealth of information, thank you very much, because it does help when we're sitting and discussing for everybody.
No, I mean, there was one other house that, is 43 Puritan, but I didn't submit it. It was a brand new build, actually, by my builder down the street. And,
is that the house that had the fire?
Yeah.
Yeah.
On Christmas Eve.
Has that one sold yet?
Yeah, no, it's sold. People moved in and they're not even city people. They came from New Canaan.
Okay.
Yeah, which is surprising. So, that house, A, has a pool, is bigger.
Oh, it has a pool too.
Yeah, and is bigger, and, was valued less, I believe it was less than what my house is currently valued at.
Do you know what that sold for? Or? No, I can do that too.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 43 Puritan was the other one that I was looking at. I mean, I will tell you this. It was very odd when I first got it because I looked at the land size and I compared it to, I had the exact same land size as the other corner lot at the beginning of Puritan. I think it may be like 12 Puritan or something or another. The corner on Colonial and Puritan border, we had the exact same land size for both corner lots, and I would say that house is a better piece of land because Colonial is a lot less busy than Beach.
Huron Beach, corner beach. Okay.
They had our land valued at $100,000 more than that land. And I'm like, how is this even, we're basically at the same location closest to the beach, and that is not adjacent to a double yellow line road, and you're saying my property is more valuable than that. It just, the whole process of how they ever did this just seems to be somewhat confusing.
Well, and kudos to the Secretary of the Board of Assessment Appeals, who has done a great job of congregating all the beach appeals, so we're all hearing a lot of the same information.
Right.
So it'll be a good
you...
presentation, and I would like to let you know that, because I think in past years people are like, but this is not a one-off. You know, this is intensely, you've probably seen your neighbors as you're coming into town hall.
Well, my wife and I were like, when it first came out at $2.1 million, I was like, somebody gives me $2.1 million for the house, we'll be out in 30 days.
So you went to the informal hearing, and did they?
That's when they dropped it down to the 2.5.
Okay, so the informal. I'm sorry, so the informal was at before the informal hearing?
It was at 2.141. And I was like, I would be out of my house in 30 days if somebody gave me $2.14 million.
Okay, and then they dropped it then to just over the $2 million.
Correct.
And 5,000. Okay, so about 135,000.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and you're looking for like another 100.
Yes. I mean, and I would say, yes, my house has appreciated, since the March, and, I even look at kind of the Zillow estimate. It was funny, when I was doing my, looking at doing the refi in March, I was looking at Zillow, and my mortgage broker was like, oh, you can't use Zillow for the beach, it's overvaluing the beach area. And then it was like, hey, you're lucky to get, it appraised for what you paid for it 3 years ago. And that was March, and now it's like they've not taken the whole year of, what the property values were during the whole year. It's like they're saying, hey, it's peak, and that's what the...
And unfortunately, that's a statutory requirement. That is not something we willy-nilly pick.
No, but you have a window. And, the problem that works around this is nothing was moving before March. So there were no comparable sales. The house on 43 Puritan, the builder was slow rolling the construction, and then next thing you know, everything happened, and, somebody came and bought it and said, get it done.
Right.
So, it's like the absence of data from prior to the pandemic is penalizing all the beach property owners because, everything after the pandemic heated up, but there's not the comparable sales that said, and then,
And that, unfortunately, is the date, and if everything had gone downhill,
right.
then,
Yeah.
So, but the idea is that it's comparable to each other.
Correct,
So
and that's why I went...
to get it, fairly assessed as a relationship of the pieces of
Yeah, because it's all relative. I mean, at the end of the day, there's a certain amount of tax that's got to be collected, and
so
that sets the mill rate based on the grand value list. So it's all competing against, yes.
It is all of that, so that's a good thing. So,
we used to live in Darien, and there were complaints everywhere because the country clubs got a tax abatement somehow or another for all their property, and everybody was up in arms.
Well, and that was not evenly. So trying to apply the same principles evenly across the 20,000 properties in town.
You're going to accelerate my move to Isle of Palms. The way this is going.
I'm sorry?
I said you're going to accelerate my movement to the Isle of Palms.
And, well, that would be a topic for other discussion because that's where we spend our winters. That's our plan. Really?
Yeah, we were there a couple of years ago. We really liked it, but I think the beginning of the pandemic, we went down to Florida, and we were in Siesta Key off of Sarasota, and my wife fell in love with that.
So you're going further south?
Yeah, I think so. We'll see.
I'm going to ask, are you on the Isle of Palms, or are you part of the well?
No, we just went and visited, and my wife really liked it, and it was like Charleston's nice because you still get a little bit of the weather, and, you got Charleston in town.
But it's not as far south as Florida.
No, and I grew up in North Carolina, and until we went to Isle of Palms, I'd never been down there. I'd been to Myrtle Beach 1,000 times, I'd been to Savannah 1 million times, but I'd never actually been up to Charleston. So.
Similar things happening on the tax basis evaluation there too. So let's leave it at that. But I appreciate your time.
Okay.
I'm going to wrap up here, just to let you know what's going to happen going forward. I am going to be the one to be presenting your petition to the majority of the board.
Okay.
We have what's called a deliberation process. That will be happening. We're going to have all the decisions made in the month of March. Okay. And you will hear within 7 days after the decision. If you're denied, you can come back next year. If you're don't agree with our decision, then you can take it to court. All those instructions will be in your decision letter. So, thank you for your time. I do appreciate you coming in, and it's more insightful when I get to speak with people.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Shut up. Are you going out the front door?
Yeah.
Great, then they'll send the next person.
Great, thank you.
Thanks, Ms. Burgess.
Have a good one. How's it going?
Hearing ends at 10:45. Hi, Rob.
Hi, just checking in.
Hopefully this is all working, because this is going better than I thought.
Good.
Yeah. And thank you for all the work, because now I know this is my first day of hearing. But, just being this.
Well, it's not me, it's me, it's Kathleen,
Well,
it's IT,
I'm going to
it's
say, because it's not me. But
Public
I'm
Works who
definitely
redid
very
they put a barrier up here. That's new. That's new from last night.
What is that?
It's just sheetrock. There was too much noise passing through,
Oh, wow.
so they put that up. I didn't even know that.
I don't know that being that.
And painted. Very good.
Yeah, no, I did notice the artwork was different. And look, I think this is one of the nicer I like the day ones. So.
Yeah.
I'm not complaining, but it's very, I can't see them because of the glare. But that's a good thing.
You can drop the shade.
It's fine. I love the light, and they all seem fine. I just say, if I give them a little, I'm taking them.
Okay.
No, I think it's been great to show face.
Okay.
Yep. Thanks for checking in, Rob. Hello.
Hi,
Miss Sally?
that's me.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you, this is for me.
I hear it's been echoing around here, so if you don't mind closing the door, I will keep my distance.
Are you kidding? I'm at home teaching my third grader. I would love anything that's more quiet. The 15 hole in.
Oh, aren't you just being so positive? That's great. Terrific. Because of COVID and so forth, there is a little script kind of in the beginning to make sure that we are. So sorry to sound so robotic, but it'll get better. I'm Kathryn Kipp. I am on the Board of Assessment Appeals for the hearing process. I have a few things for record. You're being recorded. I need to say that appeal number 500 will begin at 10:47. This appeal is for 432 Roland Road. I am currently with the owner, Patrice Foudy.
Foodie's how we say it.
Foodie, thank you very much. The town has given a value to your home of $1,975,000, and you are appealing to ask for it to be reduced to $1,725,000. Correct?
That's what I put, because that's what I guess it was. Zillow, that's what it said.
No, that's fine. That's, we're going to discuss. Okay, I do have to swear you in, so if you would please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Do you have a sheet of paper to acknowledge that you have been, and if you could sign that, and just push it to the corner of the table, I will pick that up afterwards. Thank you very much. Okay. There we go. Great. I have your paperwork that's been submitted. It's all been put online. Would you happily take me through it to make sure that I have everything and have a good understanding? And please let me know any other information that
Can
you
I
want
give
me
you
to
a
have.
piece of paper?
Absolutely.
I think when I handed in last time, when I opened up my folder, I think this piece didn't go with it. And it was supposed to.
It's been a complicated process.
Okay.
We're all asking all this. Okay, great.
And then,
Okay, now, so there's a selection of 3 more houses. We'll call them comparable. Row for Roland?
yeah, that was the second page. Maybe it was, oh, you did have it.
It
Okay.
did look familiar to me.
Okay,
Okay, great.
Okay.
So, good, because it has the top, it has the heading. So I don't need this extra one, but, so this is the sale price. Do we have the sale date? These are all in 2020?
I did it.
Oh, a much
Over.
longer one.
Well, it gives you more dates and stuff, because I realized there was information that might have been
Okay.
useful to you. So may I give you this and we talk about that?
Absolutely.
Okay. and I have a copy of it too.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Terrific. 'Cause we're going to keep this,
Yes.
we'll scan it in. Okay, terrific.
So what I did, if I may, is I broke things. I understand the way, if I understand correctly, it's what things are worth in the market, not what, I mean, that's what it is.
And it's at a specific point in time, October 1st, 2020.
That's right.
And it's just a way to kind of, quote, level all the properties at one date, one point in time. So it is very static so that everyone can get their fair share of the tax burden. So it's comparable for that reason.
So I looked at it certainly at the most recent sales, which have happened from July until now. But in addition, I looked at things that were purchased right around when I did, and though they didn't have, they don't have the same dates as our current, I'm reflecting on the fact that what they sold for, the discrepancy between their sale prices and their assessments are so different from the assessment that I have and the projected sale price.
And looking at, could you please, set me straight here. I'm looking at your record of ownership changes, but not you. How long have you lived there? Did you buy it in 2015?
I bought it in 2015, and we rented it. We were, until I could sell my other house, and then we built a new house.
Okay. And you built it, it looks like it was ready up and running, was it 2018?
Yeah, it says this will be our third summer. Yep.
Okay. So I'm reading that right, and that part is correct. All righty. So take me through here.
So I looked just right around our house at properties that are not for sale currently, but that are really good comps. So if you look at the two on the first two lines on Quincy Street, which is on the corner, they have comparable land and square footage, and their assessments are significantly lower than mine. I put mine in larger numbers just below it.
Oh, I see this. Okay, great.
And then the other few that I mentioned, while their land is a little smaller, the square footage in some cases even larger. So I tried to make the most real comparisons that I could. The fellow on that meeting said, think of it as a house that, if you were trying to buy a house, this would fill the requirements for you.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. And in each case, in this grouping, the assessment that my home has is sometimes over $200,000 higher. So those are being sold, but that's the way I would look at things if I were trying to buy. Then there are the next grouping is things that did sell around the same time as mine. So we could have a real comparison of their values at that time. And again, there are lots of examples where the sale price is close to the appraised price at that time, but the assessments that correlate with that are significantly lower than the number that I'm paying now. So these folks are being assessed at these values, which are so much lower than mine.
Well, let's go through, especially the ones at the bottom.
You want to look at
the sale, the ones that have been sold.
Okay, so
It's much closer to the date of valuation.
Okay, so that's purchase post-COVID numbers.
Right, and I see you have in the right column,
And that's all
they're all 2020, they're all really applicable to the time that we're looking at.
Should go by. So again, to understand what is the most comparable homes to mine, I know you considered two things, the square footage of the house and the land. Are there other things like pools and things like that also?
They do come in on the, they are part of your dwelling and part of your assessment. Doesn't look like you have a pool.
I do not, but
so that may be part of somebody else's assessment that does have a pool that you don't. But the land value, I have you appraised here on the field card. I see it's just shy of $710,000, and then your dwelling would be $1,265,000. Okay. So when we look at this, so that's your, and then your assessment is the 1,382. Okay, so we're looking at the assessment, and your square footage and your land square footage. Okay.
So if we could look at, for example,
Oh, there's the 1975. Okay.
if we could look at, for example, 43 Puritan Road,
Yes.
that is close in land size, it's larger in square footage size, and the assessment is significantly less than mine. It's sold in November, much higher than the assessment. I think this is a COVID thing. But, you know, even if I have to be in that COVID...
That was under construction, right? And that just sold.
It was November, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And the one above it has even, well, that's okay, close to my house, that's just above it, is the road 628 Rolling Road. That sold in September. That has more square footage than we do and almost the same amount of land, and their assessment is lower. All 7 of these have a...
They're all lower in assessment.
They are, and
Okay.
And I don't know, you know...
And they all sold for, you know, if your assessment does fair market value of $1,975,000, none is sold for that. Is that, am I reading this right?
That's right.
Okay, I'm confirming that I understand, so,
Yeah.
I can do the best job presenting, okay, your case. Okay, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So, now, is there any more information in this package on these specific comps? This is yours, I'm just going through here. Okay, so we have, say, 430, oh, that's yours. Right. I don't really have any pictures or anything of these homes, but I can call that up. We don't have a field card at this point.
Okay. Okay.
Or do you? It's a question. I just want to understand what I have.
I didn't know what I was, if I was...
No, you're doing a fine job. This is great. The square footage is important, and there's enough. Tell me, what would your house have? Does it have an elevator?
It does have an elevator. And I don't know if that was noted in the field card. It's like I saw a place where it said for fireplaces and for outbuildings, but I didn't know what other things besides a pool or spa and all those kinds of things that I'd seen on some other cards.
Okay, and you were FEMA compliant, and you were elevated, I see all that. Okay.
Yeah.
All good to know. And your lot is it a corner lot?
It is one in from the corner.
Okay. Great. And you're at 432, so you're nearest cross street?
Quincy.
Okay, you're between Quincy and
Fox. Oh, I'm sorry, Quincy and the parallel street would be Edward. Fox is behind us.
Okay. Nope, this is... Okay. All right, and these are good to have, and that's why it's great to have a computer, because we can have all this access very quickly when we go in. So, yep. I'll just be able to pull up those field cards and see if there's anything.
And this is all particular to the beach area. I understand. It's just amazing what is so different, just short blocks away. But you're talking about what value, and the value is what somebody would pay for it.
At that time.
Yeah.
On October 1st. And
so will it ever go down?
Well, who would thought that COVID would have such a positive effect in that way? You know, not positive.
I guess positive only for those who did the selling, though, not for those of us that didn't want to. But I understand your process is what it is.
And it really is a way to kind of, you know, level all the 20,000 units in town, to have a way of comparing them. Not necessarily if yours has gone up. You know, it's only relative. We still have to follow the budget. It's a different thing. The mill rate will be a different thing. Those really are separate. This is just, we have this much of a pie, how much belongs to each of the properties.
I see. Okay.
And that's what the assessment comes out to. So really, if all your neighbors raising it the same amount. So to look at,
and see that
so when you say, oh, everybody at the beach, well, that means, at the beach, then we have to look at the beach separate from other areas of town. That's a different thing, but.
And I didn't even go beyond just my little.
But nor should you, because that's what this is, and it's to say, well, I'm in 1975, but I have these, 2, 4, 6, 7 comparable properties, and that's really what you're comparing this stuff to. That your part of this share is somewhat, 1975, 1895 is not, but
even
the 13.
Even if the sale price, but it's the assessment price that they have.
That's what
it's lower than the sale price.
This is really good to have.
Okay.
These are the 7 that we need. So you did a good job. You did a good job. That was my point at the end.
Because I got to tell you, if I don't make it to heaven, for me, the other place is a box of receipts and an added machine. I can't stand doing numbers.
Oh, okay. That's your option is either having the numbers. Okay.
Yeah, I hate that. It's not my strong suit.
Well, you presented well. That's what the hearings are about, so that we can hear and see the numbers and so forth. And you know best. So I just want to, assure you that I have what I've heard. So that's why I'm repeating that. I think this is the important piece. I put this on the side. It'll take us a couple of days, and then we'll get it into the system. This is what we'll be using to deliberate. Do you have anything else you'd like to say before I have my ending script as well as my beginning script?
Yes, if we're working from that page on sale prices, and the sale price is significantly different from the assessment, how is that compensated for in a reevaluation? Because even if your assessment was that my house was equal to, let's say the one that's $1,500,000 to make it easy. That's
right. Are you looking at 43 Puritan? That assessment's only $1,500,000.
No, I'm sorry. I was looking at $68.
Okay.
It sold for 1.5.
And its assessment is for rounding 1.4.
Yes. So, do I get the benefit of having a comparable assessment as it relates to sale prices, or if that makes sense?
It is not my role to actually answer that because, we have to look at. This is the information I do need, and I know that's the end game that you want because the sale prices are. So that is all to be considered. Yeah. And I can't. It's not my role to tell you what the outcome will be, but those will be part of the consideration.
Okay. And can you tell me when does the mill rate get reported?
That will be part of the budget process, and the mill rate is usually set. Don't quote me because, again, not my role, but I want to say it will be the July 1st taxes. The tax when it gets set there, and the budget's going through now.
Yeah.
And then they will take the grand list, which is all of the assessments added up, including commercial property, and then to see.
Oh, so GE leaving really did hurt.
Pardon?
GE leaving us really did hurt, I guess.
Well, but sacred, yeah.
Well, other side comments.
However, I have heard, I think through listening through the Board of Finance meetings, that the commercial assessments are up and the overall grant list is up.
Good.
Yeah, I want to say 8%. Please don't quote me on that one.
No, the schools have needed a lot of help this year. They really.
And that's a lot of the federal dollars and so forth, but you're right on it. I mean, what you're saying is all right. So, but we do have 650 appeals this year.
Holy moly, that would be up substantially from last year.
So we're on the busy side here, but I think the Secretary of the Board of Ed, BAA, and has been awesome. The whole BAA. I'm a temporary member to help with the hearing, and the assessor's office is terrific. So there's a lot of information. I'm going to take it. I'm going to present your case. We deliberate as a forum for the Board of Assessment Appeals, and then you will hear that decision within a week of the decision. We're going to get through everything statutory by the end of the month. So that's pretty quick. It is a turnaround. If you don't get an appeal, you can come back next year If you do get something and you don't like it, you can take it to court, and all the instructions for that will be in your decision letter. So,
Excellent.
okay.
Thank you. Back to my third grader.
All this together, I will pull it up and I appreciate you coming in.
Thank you.
And that homeschooling.
Oh, I'm lucky. Are you kidding? To be able to spend this time with my 9-year-old granddaughter, it's bonding that never would have happened. And
That's a great attitude.
oh my goodness. And she's just improved so much because I didn't know she was holding everything back because she was shy. Anyway, it's been good for us in that respect.
Isn't that a great attitude? I've had a couple of my kids come back as they are relaunching because of COVID, and I'm so thankful. I have to take my youngest to the airport in 2 days, but I'm so glad we've had this 2 or 3 months because I'll never live with him again. You know, I mean, and he's going pretty far away. So
Lots of silver linings.
Yeah, it has been. So,
Well, you have a good day.
Thank you very much.
Kathy?
Hello.
Hi, I'm Karen.
Hi,
The
Karen.
assessors. I'm going to
Thank you for, I don't know who's making all these things magically appear in there, but all
Yes.
good.
a lot of work.
It is, but I'm going to really appreciate it when I see all these things from home.
I'm going to take, I need two from you, at 11:30 and 11:45. Till 4:32 and 4:45.
Am I not going to hear them?
No. He has 3 tonight. Is that right? 4:32, perfect. So I'm going to move him to tonight.
Okay, so I think I just then have one more phone call to make.
Probably, yes, because he was here this morning. We'll come back now, and then come back tonight for 3. He said, can I just do them all tonight?
Well, I don't think I'm here tonight.
No, it was with Alexis, so I don't know why. I don't know. So she's going to hear all 5 because he said it's not even going to take me that long to do.
I just did this. We're trying to, but I know they want to keep it all with the same hearing officer.
Yeah.
But you know what, if Alexis screws up, I'm fine to get that little system.
Yeah, he just wants to come back just one more time. So
I don't blame him either.
I don't
So
either.
hopefully that doesn't mess up anything else.
Not at all. I have to move it from start to finish.
And I'm doing my best for paperwork.
Okay.
This
Well,
is
we
my
appreciate
first,
it.
I've never done this
Oh,
before.
okay.
So,
Yeah, it's a little,
it's a little like.
This
wow,
year's not normal.
We're being recorded.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to, there's some way to use that? Okay.
Oh, that's okay.
No, you need to get back on with it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, thank
So,
you very much.
I will go ahead and turn this on. I'm just letting it run.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your work, though. I think this
Oh,
is
no
great.
problem. Thanks.
Kathryn Kipp. I'm calling from Fairfield Town Hall for the Board of Assessment Appeals.
Hi, Kathryn. How are you?
I am good. I hope, I'm glad you're still there. I know I'm running a few minutes late, but,
No, of course,
terrific. Due to COVID restrictions, I have a little script in the beginning and at the end of our conversation, but the middle will be dedicated to me listening to you. So I just ask for your patience through the little script here. I did identify myself. Again, it's Kathryn Kipp from the Board of Assessment Appeals. I'm confirming that I will be hearing appeal number 464 for address 38 Eunice Avenue. You are the owner, James Larson, is that correct?
Correct.
Terrific. We are being recorded. The town has valued your property at $1,784,000, and you are asking for $1,565,500. Is that all correct? Terrific. And I will put down that the hearing is to begin at 11:22. On phone. Yes, Mr. Larson's on phone.
He emailed me, that's all.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. That was just Ross, the assessor, hopping in to make sure I was on time here. Okay. If that's all correct so far, I'd like to swear you in, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Okay, so now it's your turn to speak, and I will listen. I do understand, I want to confirm that I do have the paperwork here, that you purchased the property in September of 2019, and there is the appraisal value you'd like to use your purchase price of $1,565,500.
There's not, other than, one sort of minor nit on the description, which is that there's no, I don't have a generator, but that is listed as part of the outbuilding description. Really, the fundamental point is simply, the purchase of the home was so recent, and I think that's a month before the sort of review period for the Gramlich assessment. That I think that should serve as the anchor for any valuation. And so really it seems like the on-site sort of market transaction that would get me and the seller agreed upon. That's the best indication of the value of the home, and that should sort of supersede any appraisal. It would just be the starting point for any appraisal, and to kind of go up, 14 or 15% over what we actually, what I paid for the house, seems like, to me it was indicative of an inaccurate or imperfect appraisal process.
So it is your statement, the date of evaluation is actually October 1st, 1 year later, 2020, and that would be your position that you would still be able to sell. That would be the fair market value of your home also a year later.
Yeah, I'd be in a very hard position to, if I want to put my home on the market, any buyer is going to come in and offer that price. Given the short period of time between purchase and sale, any buyer is going to use that price is going to be my anchor. As any negotiation, I try and improve that price. I'm going to be met with the response that you just bought this home for this price. I'm going to be hard pressed to move off that number. Just having been involved in this process myself, a couple times, it's very hard to get people to. It's a very effective negotiating tool. It's very hard, but that is the price. And I'm never going to be able to get somebody to move materially off that. But that's the appraisal price. Your appraisal price is materially off this. Happy to tell you guys my home at the price you're appraising at. If you want to buy it for that, great. But that's not what I feel we get in an on-the-run sale.
And you bought that it was actually a new build in 2014, but you purchased it 5 years later. Is that correct?
Correct.
And between that time, have you made any improvements or done anything this year since you've purchased?
No.
Okay, so it's essentially the house that you bought is still the same house. Okay. Well, then I have your paperwork here. It does seem complete. We've had the hearing. Is there any other information you'd like to convey to me about, neighboring properties or anything in the vicinity?
Only what I submitted is just a list of valuations that look square footage wise comparable to mine that were lower. But again, I don't want to. I don't think it's necessary to get into that level of granularity because again, appraisals and assessments are very helpful when there has not been a sort of a recent sale. But in this particular instance, I think we have such a recent transaction, that it should at least, I think the presumption has to be, in my mind at least, that is the market value of the home was the value at which it was purchased. Absent some sort of extraordinary evidence to the contrary, that should be the appraisal, that should be the price at which it is valued for this purpose.
Okay, and I do want to confirm that I do have a list of 4 comparable properties that were sold in 2020, especially because this is a phone hearing. So I just want to confirm that is the paperwork that we have. So
okay.
I want to assure you that it looks like your file is complete. I've definitely heard. I reviewed the file. Do you have anything else that you want to say? Because then I kind of go into a little more scripted, and I want you to make. I don't like the roboticness of the script, so I like to tell people that that's why it is. This is your part to not be so that I don't have to be so robotic.
Absolutely, It's been really more to say, so I'm happy to go through the script and understood it's hard to get away from some of the robotic stuff, especially over the phone.
Right. So that's why I do want to assure you that I do have your complete file. I've looked at it. I have definitely heard from you. I will be the one presenting your petition to a majority of the board at a deliberation section, and at that point we will vote. You'll be notified by mail of the board's decision within 7 days of the decision, and we are planning to make all of them in March. So if your appeal is denied, you can come back next year, but if you're granted a reduction, you cannot appeal again until the next revow in 5 years. If you don't agree with our decision, the board's decision, you can take a next step and go to court, and instructions to all of that will be in your decision letter.
Sure, thank you.
Okay, well thanks, and if you don't have any more questions for me at this time, that will conclude our hearing, and I do want to, express thanks and gratitude that you took the time to call in and get all that information raised to the hearing level as well as just sorting through some paper, so I do appreciate that.
I'll quit, Kathryn. Thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it.
Same here. Thank you very much, Mr. Lawson. You have a good day.
All right, thank you too.
Hearings are concluded at 11:31 on Wednesday, March 3rd. 2 additional hearings that were scheduled have been moved to the evening session. So my morning session will terminate, and I'll hang it up.